Welcome back to the channel. This is WAP Reviews, which stands for Work in Progress. We are two works in progress.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Dennis.
And we're two best friends who love reacting to music, film, entertainment, anything pop culture. And today we are reviewing Aftersun.
With the recent Oscar nomination for Paul Mescal, we thought we have to watch this movie. I've been a fan of his since Normal People, so now we wanted to tell you what we thought of this beautiful movie.
The beginning of the film is shot on a camcorder, which we really enjoyed that first shot. There were moments throughout the film where the shots felt so natural and normal. They used a lot of reflecting on the TVs and through mirrors to get a perspective of each of the characters, which we thought was a really interesting way of shooting the film.
I really like the shot where his elbow and the photograph developing and him like joking around with Sophie. Literal way of showing the progression of time in that scene, and the TV reflecting, and then you can also see her in the mirror. There's just so many moments where shots you wouldn't expect necessarily, but somehow tell a larger story, which is important when so much of it felt like it was a normal day and a normal conversation and a normal feeling. I think is what is exceptional about this film is being able to create a story without really having any big moments.
Yeah, there wasn't any big sort of problem to get over. It was just this overarching feeling of numbness throughout the film, which just, again, it gave it that human feeling. Like we were literally getting glimpses into somebody's life, which was just, I don't know, it was, like you said, it was exceptional the way it made you feel.
At times when watching the movie, you're kind of wondering what this movie really is about. Like, you can kind of tell where it's going closer to the end, but you still are like, nothing's actually happened. What's the point of this? But I think what's really cool about it is that the quote-unquote nothingness, the everyday stuff, everything was told not with words, but the meaning behind those words, or the expressions they were having during those feelings.
The actions.
Yeah. Even like those scenes where they're talking through the bathroom, like when he's cutting off the cast, or when he's looking in the mirror, and you can kind of see his face as he's reacting to her, but she doesn't see him, so you're actually seeing a glimpse into like some part of the truth, because obviously around her he's trying to act
put on this facade of a happy father, but when he's really not, and he's struggling deeply. And I guess that also leads into like his actions and what he was showing, like you said, cutting off the cast himself, putting the towel over his face, hanging over the edge. I think that really just tells that he's really trying to feel something out of the numbness. Even in such lovely days that he's spending with his daughter, there's still this feeling that he just can't shake it, and it reflects through his behavior.
I think also it's an accurate depiction of what depression is like for many people, especially before something tragic like a suicide, that like it's like, what signs did I miss? When the reality is there's usually not something huge that happens. It's just like the little things. Like you said, the reckless behavior. It's also like another sign was him buying the carpet for her, as something to give to her. That scene where he tells her, like, you can tell me anything. Kind of maybe him convincing himself that he's like, yeah, I'll be there.
And it's interesting that they had that conversation on water as well, because water, I don't know, I guess another form. This whole movie is a bunch of symbolism. Sometimes it's not our favorite thing to sit and really psychoanalyze what's going on in a film. Yeah. But for this film, there is something I like about it because you talk about it afterwards. But again, to go back to the water thing, water is so like uncontrollable. And I think that just again reflects like what he was saying to her. Oh yeah, I'll be there. But again, you never really know where literally the tide is going to take him.
And it's also another reflection.
It's almost like we, the audience, are also thinking like, oh, what signs did I miss as well?
I think we're so used to constantly being shown something or listening to something so that when things are quiet, we're kind of forced to think. So I think this movie uses silence in that same way, that you kind of can see them both as individuals thinking, makes us as viewers also want to think, which maybe some viewers would be uncomfortable with or bored with. I think that's really the magic of the film. There was also that conversation where Sophie was kind of explaining how, like, do you ever feel like you're super down? She's kind of basically explaining probably how he feels and how maybe his depression started feeling at the beginning. What was cool about it is that he was in a different room. Again, we could see his like true reaction to it, where he just like deflected, which kind of showed how he didn't want the vacation to be tainted by anything negative. He was always trying to find something positive, except for that one time when he didn't want to go singing karaoke.
Talk about what you were saying about him and like his character. He has this way of being so gentle, and those moments of gentleness, like when he's holding her and playing with her hair. That is like probably our favorite scene in this movie. His gentle moments and the way he is with his daughter is just so wholesome. Like the whole movie feels like a home video, but this feels like a moment in someone's like heart.
A core memory.
It almost feels like I can't believe that we got to be a part of like those moments, those soft, gentle moments between a father and a daughter. There isn't a lot of movies that talk about a father-daughter relationship. She's definitely well loved by him, and she knows that.
This entire movie, because we kind of start with the camcorder and all of it, it felt like a very long core memory. Like we were seeing all these moments that deeply affected the person we were watching. Clearly these moments matter because we're seeing them.
I don't know. The more you think about the movie and the more you talk about it, I think the more that we've grown to like it.
Yeah.
I think initially we were like, oh my God, what's going on? But then after we finished, it was just one of those things where we couldn't stop talking about the new theories that we came up with. Because the movie leads you with this heavy feeling that, but not heaviness in a sad way, heaviness in like a full, complete way.
Because the whole film felt so personal, it kind of gives you that feeling when someone you just met tells you like some really important thing that happened to them. And like you're sitting there talking to them and you just feel like really, grateful that they told you. And you're like, wow, thank you so much for sharing that with me. It gives you this heavy feeling, but like you said, it's not a negative feeling. It's a feeling of gratitude, but the weight of the responsibility of hearing that. By the end, you regret that you weren't paying attention as much. And that's kind of the exact feeling Sophie has. She wishes she was paying attention.
We were talking about this before, that memories are what you make of them in your mind. And in the beginning, it's this glitchiness from the camcorder. So it's almost like the memories are trying to come together from what she remembers. And then at the end, in the strobe lights and all the chaos, trying to put the pieces together. But they're not all there because it's a memory, a distant one.
When she's like literally grasping for him, yes, literally means she's trying to kind of like save him. But it's also like she's trying to grasp onto the memory of him. The reality is every time she's re-remembering them, she's changing those memories. And she's creating different layers to them. Maybe she has a new perspective now that she has a kid. Like, I could never. Or maybe she now does understand more. She's like, I can understand how he felt like that. The whole point of the movie is it doesn't tell you. It shows you. It never really tells you anything. Even at the end, you don't really know what happened. Especially my favorite shot was when she's saying, I love you, I love you. From the TV, it switches into grown Sophie and then switches back into her father. And then he walks back into her dream, which kind of is like he's walking back into her memories. Because
it's like a beautiful scene, that one shot. And it feels so seamless because I think that's how memories are supposed to be. Just when you remember them, they open up, but then when you want to forget, they go right back into the door. Visually is showing you exactly what she's thinking in that moment. It makes you think, like, when people do take their own life, like the impact that it leaves on you forever, like the people who are still around. It just makes you wonder about how the rest of her life went.
It also shows that, like, a lot of the time when there's a film that deals with a subject like this and someone takes their own life, you kind of see these, like, huge reactions from every character that makes you feel like, oh, like, yeah, this is so, like, tough for them. But I think in this movie, seeing Sophie's memories from her own perspective, that's all you need to know. 20 years later, she's sitting there listening on her birthday to this memory. She misses him just as much then as she did
when she was leaving.
It's not the big moments, it's even the action of remembering is as big as those big moments. Overall, we really love the movie, but we would love to hear your comments and your theories. What were those strobing lights? What does it all mean? What do you think the point of the movie was? What did you think? Did you think it was boring? We want to hear everything you have to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time we post a new video. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok for exclusive reactions and behind-the-scenes content.
Make sure to leave a comment down below because we like and read our comments always.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye.